I mean, I'm interested. I'm cash. I can close super fast. I really would like to be more around 210. But again, like I can close in a week.
Yeah.
On this video, you're gonna look over my shoulder and watch me find and wholesale a house. And the best part is I did it remotely without ever seeing the property. And my total time from start to finish on the entire deal was less than 1 hour. So if you wanna learn how to make $5,000 an hour, this is a video you don't wanna miss coming up.
Go to 8weekacademy.com to claim your free copy of Jerry Norton's most popular training. In it, he reveals his blueprint for making $100,000 per year with real estate.
If you're new here, I'm Jerry Norton and I went from dead broke to millionaire flipping houses, and after doing 1,000 deals, I created this channel to help you master the art of wholesaling and flipping real estate so you can live your dream life. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified when new videos are released. Every Saturday, I do a video series called the Watch Me Wholesale Show. The way it works is I randomly choose a market, then I find a distressed property, crunch the numbers, and then I call and make an offer to the seller. And the most recent episode, number 14, that just aired was in Boise, Idaho, and it ended up becoming a successful wholesale deal. Now, the whole episode is like 30 minutes, so if you missed it or you need a refresher, be sure to go back and watch it. I'll put the link to that in the description below. But that was a fun deal because it was a vacant, distressed property that was listed for sale by owner on Zillow. Now, I don't know if you know this, but anyone can put a property for sale by owner on Zillow for free. Now, the property was listed for sale for $250,000, so I called the seller and I made a cash offer for $215,000. Now let's cut to that call so you can hear the conversation, and I want you to pay special attention to how I make the offer. Now I did a few things that were crucial to me getting this deal at my desired price. Take a listen.
Hello, this is Kevin. Can I help you?
Yeah, hi Kevin. I'm calling you about your property for sale on Starlight.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, do you have a minute to talk about that?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's vacant, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm an investor. I do flips in the area and was kind of looking at it for a flip.
Uh-huh.
What can you tell me about it?
I mean, it's my mom's house. We had to put her in assisted living.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why she's selling it. She was there 32 years. So most of the stuff in there is probably original.
Yeah.
But
does it need a roof? It's kind of hard to tell from the...
The roof was recovered about like 15 years ago.
Okay.
And so there is a storage shed in the back that's a built storage shed that has power and heat and everything to it. That roof was not redone.
Okay.
So that roof probably needs to. It looked like a couple of places like where the gutters had gotten full. There might have been a little bit of water sucked into the roof in a couple little areas, but probably just a little minor patch. Probably it wouldn't be too big of a deal there.
Gotcha.
There is it's electric floor steer heat with AC with it, but there is gas right in the street if you wanted to upgrade it.
Okay. So it's on like a boiler.
No, it's just electric forced air. It's just a regular furnace and everything, but it's electric.
Electric, okay.
Gas, yeah.
Yeah, but it does have AC.
Yeah, it does have AC in the back. I don't know if, my mom was there, so I don't know if she ever used it or if it's, what the condition is of it, but it does have AC.
Now,
the furnace is running now and stuff. It's heated in there and everything, blowing and everything's fine. So.
Gotcha. Now, it doesn't have to go through probate or anything?
No, she's still alive and everything. It's just...
Okay. So you just moved her out, but she's still living. But she's on title, so is she technically the seller?
Yeah, what it is she had... my sister in Alaska has power of attorney for her. So it's all ready to go. So.
Okay, and there's no mortgage on it or anything?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm curious, you put it up by owner, right? So I saw it on Zillow. And I'm always looking for deals in the area. Where are you getting the $250 price? Do you have a strategy for that, or what were you thinking?
I mean, there's a bunch of, I've probably had, probably 30 or 40 showings, from people trying to, about flippers and stuff, trying to flip it and everything. I mean, it's constant freight of people through there and stuff. And so, I mean, I think that, from where it's at, I mean, paying $250 for it, and then going in and updating the things that need to be done, it's probably an end user price at that. It'd be hard to flip it at $250. But I mean, that's, if it was an end user, I mean, there's nothing available here. And so it would be, a good thing. But yeah, I mean, they're, if it came in with a decent deal or something, you could probably put something together under that. So be worth taking a look at. I don't know if you're in town, not in town, but
yeah. So because I'm looking at comps in the neighborhood, and 1,500 square foot 3.2, like some remodels are selling for around $250 to $275, and they're like fully updated.
Right. The comps and stuff that are around and everything, everybody else that's in there, is probably, they're thinking fixed up and stuff, it's going to go between $290 and $325 now at the current market, is where I've had probably 30 people in there that, flip in the area, some major ones, and they're saying, depends on what you do to it.
Yeah.
Right now in our market here, I don't know how much you've been in the market, but I mean, people are buying stuff, paying $40,000 to $50,000 over appraised values.
Yeah. People just want a house. They don't, it doesn't even matter anymore, but this is not really, homeowner condition. Right.
So I'm just saying, if you come in and fix it up, I mean, whatever, there's a premium above once it's fixed up and stuff selling. And so, I mean, I think that's kind of where it's at. It's just, there's not, because I mean, I put it on, it just came back on kind of because I had, brought it on. We probably had 12 offers. We accepted one, no contingencies and stuff. And now the house that they were flipping that, made the offer and didn't say any contingencies of having to sell another thing. And now the house that they were flipping in here in Idaho has a snag that's going to extend their closing out farther.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why I just brought it back on. So, I mean, they're still interested, but I mean, I'm not interested in, they're like, well, it might be another, 30 or so days, because there was some inspection issue on theirs where they needed some different electrical inspection or something that wasn't done. So they're talking about having to tear into it to get that figured out or something. And so they just said, well, we'll see what happens. And so I just brought it back on. I mean, that offer, could go away at any time, or we'd hang out with it. We haven't signed an extension or anything with them. So
okay, so you could contract with somebody else. You're not
correct.
Obligated to that contract. Correct. And I'm cash. Are they cash?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was a cash.
They were having to get this other house sold. They made a cash offer, but didn't have that thing. So
contingent. They had to get the cash out of that to buy this. So
right, and they didn't disclose that or whatever. But so, anyways.
So Kevin, what's the number to get it?
I'm thinking that you need to be, somewhere around 225 is probably a done deal.
So 225 would get the deal done.
Yep.
Okay. Because that's basically what you're finding the market's willing to pay from other flippers.
Yeah, I mean, I've had offers higher and stuff, but then they're like, well, we want to do this, or we need to do this. I had one person at 246 that came in, and then they're like, but we need to do this, and can you wait this long? And I mean, it just didn't seem like they were eventually, I mean, maybe, but maybe not. I mean, so they're just looking for, it's a little bit weird because my sister's in Alaska that's doing the thing. I'm here in Idaho. And so I have other dealings that are in California and stuff. So I'm here part of the time and they're part of the time. And so I just say, hey, I'll try and get it going while I'm here. And so that's kind of why we're...
So that flipper at 225, did they say what they would budget on the rehab? Did they mention that?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. I mean, some people are talking, which way they want to go. There's some people that are saying, hey, we want to go through and redo everything, like pull out windows and stuff,
roof, window, siding, garage door,
right, and all that, and then it's just like, the thing is here, there's just no houses. Basically, you want to get it up. If I was doing it, I would just go and get it up to the level to where you could sell it to an end user.
Yeah.
and it'll go. I mean, you're not trying to, hey, wow, we built this thing, is beautiful, and all this other,
it's two different strategies, right? One strategy would be, let's go for top of the market, new kitchen, new this, new everything, or let's just get the thing past an FHA inspection and a buyer will, take it down. So
right. And so the people that could go to that higher end, I mean, most likely they're building houses now. There's no houses here available, so everybody's just contracting to build. But now the builders, even after they sign deals here, are now coming back and saying, well, there's no workers here. I have to pay extra more money for a frame or extra more money for a roof or whatever. So they're coming back and then saying, hey, well, now it's going to be $20,000 more. And people are like, we already have a signed deal. And it's like, well, I'll give you your earnest money back because the prices are going up so fast. So, I mean, so it's kind of crazy. But yeah, so I would think that, so there's people in that new area, but there's nothing. I'm like, now there's no houses under 200,000 available anywhere now, even just, little stuff. And so now it's like, if you could get in, fix it up good enough, like you said, to FHA or whatever. I mean, most of the stuff here now is selling for cash, even stuff that's fixed up, because buyers are coming in from other places, and even people that are going like getting financing and stuff. People are able to sell so much higher over appraisal value because appraisals haven't caught up. Even if you have an FHA buyer, they still have to have a lump of cash to pay over and above what it appraises at.
Yeah, I know. I got one like that right now where they're doing. We do appraisal guarantees where they're saying if it appraises lower, I'll pay the difference.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just crazy thing ever. Well, I mean, I'm interested. I'm cash. I can close super fast. Okay. I don't know how important that is, but I mean, I really would like to be more around 210. But again, like I can close in a week. Yeah.
I mean, there's, we had other offers that are sitting there higher than that. Well, if they keep your number in thing, if something goes sideways or something or whatever, we have one of the biggest flipping companies here. We just went through it this morning. They're supposed to have numbers, so that would give me a better idea of where they're at. But they've done like 500. They have like flips in the last, 2 or 3 years, something like that. They do a bunch, kind of what they do. And so
what are they willing to pay?
Huh?
What are they saying they'll pay?
Well, that's what we're seeing. They said they'd have number to me today. I told them where we're just like, this is where we're at on this other offer that we have if we want to wait. And so that's the number that they're working off of and see if they can put it together. They flipped one right around the corner from this and they put it on and they sold that one for, I think it was $289.9. And they sold it in one day, and they said they had 16 offers on it, and they wish they still had it because it probably could have popped. They redid it nice and everything. It was a little bit bigger lot than this one, but they said, there's probably was another 30,000 sitting there. That one was around the corner on Orion. That they did that one, same sub, and so there's several people just hanging right around that 220 area that maybe it's doable, maybe it's not. Hey, we want to make this or whatever.
I mean, could you make 215 work?
I mean, I can talk to them and see, see. I can basically, I can call them up there and they can talk to. My sister has power of attorney and can talk to my mom and see where they're at on it. And I can let you know.
Yeah, if you could talk to them, I mean, again, no waiting around for like these other people, or it's just be a done deal. So yeah, why don't you talk to them, see if 215 will work.
All right, I will talk to them, and this is the best time to reach out.
Yeah, this is my cell phone. Yep.
All right. And then are you in town now or out of town?
No, I'm not in town. I'm actually in Arizona, but
okay.
That doesn't matter.
All right. Well, let me, and then you need any inspections, anything like that, or what do you think?
I mean, maybe like a day or two just to walk it to make sure there's nothing weird going on. But I mean, it's not like I'm going to come back and say, oh, it needs a roof, or it needs, new carpet. I got it. Like I know it. I've been doing this full time for almost 17 years, done hundreds of flips. So it's a pretty cookie cutter flip.
Yeah.
It's just, got to get it at the right number.
That's for sure. All right. Well, I'll talk to him and I'll be in touch.
Okay. Awesome.
Thanks.
Yep. Thanks, Kevin. Bye.
Bye.
So there are some huge takeaways that happened on this call. Since the property has been out for sale for a little while, the seller, Kevin, was very informed and had a really good idea on what the current market was willing to pay for his property. Did you catch that he recently had it under contract with a local flipper for $225,000, but the deal fell through because the flipper couldn't get the cash to close for another 30 to 60 days, and the seller didn't want to wait around, so he put it back up for sale. Now that was valuable information for me. I took that information and I adjusted right on the fly. I knew two things. One, the cash buyer market will pay $225,000 for this house. And two, the seller is not willing to wait 30 to 60 days to get $225,000. The writing between the lines was that he might be willing to take less than $225,000 if I could get him paid faster. That's why I offered $215,000 with a 2-week closing. I wanted to dangle quick cash in front of him in hopes that he would be willing to take less cash right away instead of waiting 30 to 60 days. And I offered $215,000 not because of some formula, but because I knew cash buyers would pay $225,000, so I built in a $10,000 wholesale fee. So his response was, "Let me talk to my siblings." Now, an hour later, he called back with his answer to my $215,000 offer. Take a listen.
Yeah, I talked to them, and I mean, we're close. I don't. They're a little bit leery of trying to do something with you. Haven't gotten in there and seen the place. I mean, there's a lot of pictures there on Zillow. It seems like if you've done it before, you pretty much know where you're at on it.
Yeah, I mean, I would look for something like I was going to look at the roof, and then I was going to look at is there any kind of foundation issues going on? Is it the floor is nice and level? Really, that's kind of it. It's a pretty simple house, pretty simple floor plan.
So what are you thinking? You would come up here and do that quick, or what are you?
No, I got someone there. There that would just run over for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if we could let them in and see what they think, and then we probably would do something if you're but we'd want to make sure basically if we wrote something up, did something, then just that there's not a contingency and we just go.
I could probably get my guy over there. I'll text him right now and see if he could run over there and look at it. But assuming that you would do the deal?
Yeah, I mean, if we get if we went in, and just came in and it was, just cash, no things, and.
So what all would it be? Closing when?
I already have title open at Alliance Titles, so I mean, they already have title commitment. They're ready to go. So I mean, we're talking, you probably close it in a week.
Week, 10 days?
Yeah.
Okay, so week, 10 days. And do you have a contract or?
Yeah, I mean, I have to write a contract. I mean, we have contracts. Yeah, I could write one.
Well, maybe let's get that ready. I'll call my guy right now, see if he can get over there. And we'll do a quick walkthrough, make sure nothing's odds going on, and then go from there.
All right, yeah, someone give me a call. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Bye.
You bet. Bye-bye.
So his main concern was about me taking the offer without seeing the property. Now let me talk about this for a minute. I normally get contracts on properties without seeing them first, but when I do that, I usually get an inspection contingency, which gives me time to send someone to the property and perform any due diligence. An inspection contingency allows you to get out of the contract if you find out the deal doesn't work. But this seller did not want any contingencies. And notice, like I said earlier, he wanted to close in a week to 10 days. Now, that doesn't give me much time to find my buyer. Luckily, I have a great relationship with a general contractor in that area that also flips a handful of deals each year. So I sent him out to the property first thing in the morning, and he called me to discuss the property. And it just so happened that the following day I was teaching a class all day to a group of my elite mentoring students. So we paused the class to discuss the deal. Take a listen.
So what'd you think of the property?
So pretty rough.
Yeah.
There's three things that are probably gonna be problematic. One is it's the original furnace, 1978 original furnace. The windows are double pane aluminum clad, so they're original 1978 vintage windows, and then the roof. I think those are three big things. The reno in the house is pretty straightforward. It's copper pipe, ABS plumbing, drain pipes, so that's good. It's new enough house. It's got granite circuitry. The siding is in rough condition, but a pressure wash and a paint, and it's good.
Yep. Okay.
$200 a square foot is a pretty reasonable price in the area, based on, there being no inventory. Of the 5 comps, one of them took 16 days to sell. All the others sold in 3 or 4 days, hitting the market, and that's only in the last 6 months.
Yeah. So 300 as a middle ground would be probably okay.
I think 300 is probably doable. 299.9, and you might get some activity and actually get fitted up.
I'll tell you what the flippers are thinking there. They're all counting on the market continuing.
Yes.
So they're going with a 325 ARV, even though there's nothing to justify it. So here's what they're thinking. 325 ARV, even though it's 300 is really the data, right? But 325, and then they're not doing the roof. They're going to do siding. They're going to cut corners, right? Paint cabinets. So they're going to spend 25 on a rehab.
When you get a second, we'll have to talk and see how we want to proceed. Probably can wholesale it in the market and make a quick 10 if you want, or I may still be willing to take it. I've just got to refine how my head's thinking about it.
If it was something that worked out for you, this guy wants to close in like a week. Is that even doable?
I have already poked at 2 of my funding sources, and one of them said I probably can do that, but I didn't give him a timetable because I wasn't positive. We probably can come close to doing it.
If you want it out, I'll do 220 and pay me the 5 later when you can. I don't care if you wait till you sell it or whatever. And then if you're up for that, and then I'll have you just work directly with the guy at the 215 number.
Okay.
Then I don't got to be in the middle of it and all that, because you and I have a long outstanding relationship.
Yeah, well, I don't have any motivation to do you wrong. We've been doing business together long enough.
Yeah.
We need to be on the same page. So
if not, if it doesn't work for you, I get it. Just let me know, because I'll tie it up for 315, and then I'll try to wholesale it for 225.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can probably find a buyer to do it at 2.25, just because they're hungry right now.
They're all starving. Yeah. He had it locked up at 225, but the guy couldn't get his cash fast enough.
Yeah.
And it was a local flipper.
Yeah.
So I'm sure with a little bit of work, 225 will get it done. A big thing for him was close fast.
Yeah.
So
let me see what I can do with. I got a response back from my private lender that I've used now multiple times, and
we just got to move fast because he's getting a lot of activity on it. So it'll be gone.
Yeah. So let me see whether I got a response back from my lender after he asked a couple questions, and I need to ask one more question of him and see whether we could turn it in 10 days or not. If we can, we may need to go back to Kevin and say, hey, we can turn it in 10 days, but we really need it at 210, and see whether he would go to 210 on it.
Yeah, I was a push to get him to 215.
Were you? Yeah.
Yeah, because he knows if he's got a buyer that is 30, 45 days out at 225.
Yeah.
But he's willing to get it done now, close fast at 215. But if I push him on that very hard, he'll just wait.
He's not going.
Yeah, and he had a buyer fall through it at 240 that had a bunch of contingencies and stuff, so he didn't do that one either.
Yeah. So.
Well, can you let me know in the next hour or two?
Yeah, I'll shoot you a text here. I'm driving right now.
Okay.
As soon as I get to my job site, I will.
So we had a great call, and we discussed different options for the rehab, and he said that he thought I could wholesale it for $10,000 more, and he said he might be interested in taking it. So I asked him if he wanted it, if he would be able to buy it in a week, and he said he would need to check with his private lender he works with, and since I have a great relationship with this GC/flipper, I offered it to him for $220,000 if he would take it from here. In other words, pay me $5,000 for finding and negotiating the deal at $215,000, but you contract directly with the seller and pay me the $5,000 bird dog fee later. Now, I would never do that with just anyone, and I would strongly advise you not to do that with just anyone. I only did that with him because I've been doing business with this guy for like 10 years, and even though I know I could get $10,000 for wholesaling this deal, I wanted to throw him a bone and get him a deal. So he sent me a text like an hour later, and he said his lender could fund the deal in a week, so I had him go directly to the seller, and he locked up the deal. All said and done, from finding the deal on Zillow to talking to the seller to discussing with my flipper, I had less than 1 hour invested in this deal for a $5,000 payday. So if you think $5,000 for an hour of work is brilliant, leave a comment and say, Jerry, you are a flipping genius. But for you listening right now, if you don't have a list of cash buyers or if you don't have a flipper that you can call like I did, how do you find your cash buyer quickly? Now, to answer that question, I want you to watch a video where I break down my #1 technique to find an active local cash buyer that is flipping houses right in that same neighborhood. It works like magic, so watch that video now. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to my channel. With over 600 videos, this is the #1 channel on YouTube for all things wholesaling and flipping. And I'll see you on the next video.